So I decided to take the Aron's Rising Dragon Strike set and use some of the pieces for a Glatorian mock, and I'm really happy with it. This is going to be a mock that I end up including in my Sky Pirates theme, my Bara Magna expansion project. As you know, it does not only include Sky Pirates, but it also includes dinosaurs and dragons, as you can see the work in progress back there. So this is a Glatorian character with a dragon motif, but he's not actually a dragon, and he is for the Iron Tribe. I give you Izrakoth. That is this character right here. And right off the bat, I'm very happy with him. He looks more complicated than he is, but he's basically just built around the actual Skrull prototype body build, except using the Vaki head here to get a little bit of extra Metru brown in there. I wanted something that was a little bit different from the classic black and Keat orange that we had seen for so many years. And of course, that Metru brown, actually, I like it a lot with the Keat orange. I don't know why. I didn't think I would, but both colors are really striking together. That said, of course, it features black. It's a very prominent color on the set as well, but you could always swap that out for dark gray. All of the parts in here, in fact, in black also appear in dark gray, outside of course, pins and axles. And of course, he also uses the wing pieces from that little dragon set as well. Again, I would have really liked to have seen these pieces to have some extra connectivity, mostly at the end here, including either a clip or a bar hole, so you could add your own maybe Exoforce hand and clip something in, and that way you could have modular wings. That'd be really cool. There are ways to do it with this for sure, but it would have been nice to have seen something like that included here. That said, they're still really gorgeous pieces, and honestly, I like them better with the amount of transparent color they have, because on the box art, it looked like it was just going to kind of be the wing tips, so that's neat. All right, so it is a trans yellow with, of course, the Keat orange color, as you guys may have seen if you watched the previous videos. And I decided to go ahead with this sword here, the Gresh sword, mostly because it has kind of that webbing to it, similar to the dragon wing, so taking some inspiration from being a dragon. You could very easily include two of those swords on here as well. One thing I thought of was actually attaching the Thornax launcher to the top of the sword, so actually having the Thornax launcher come out of here, which would be relatively easy. I've done it plenty of times, and it's been done plenty of times as well, notably for the Samad character from the Baroness set. That said, it looks really, really good, and I'm super happy with the build on it. If you want to know how to build it, it's actually fairly simple, and maybe I'll do a full breakdown build here sometime soon. We'll see. But it's just this connection, one of these on each side. The extra pin there is just to kind of keep things aligned. But I was playing around with parts when I found out that those two parts could just connect together in the middle there, and it works out really well. But essentially, it is just the Skrull prototype body, which if you don't know how that's built, I actually did a video on it. I don't know if I showed the build entirely, but I talked about parts of it there. It's essentially just a foot, a connector in there, a spacer, and in this case, again, using the Vaki head rather than the Hordika neck, because it comes in that Metru brown color, and of course, it gets rid of the dark gray. It does also come in dark gray if you wanted to use that color more heavily, but unfortunately, the hip pieces do not come in dark gray. I don't know why. Personally, I would have loved to have seen it in that color. We could have built ourselves a dark gray Vaki if it had, but hey, I digress. That said, though, you're just connecting this pin that I'm pointing at, the one on the front there, to here, and then that back pin essentially just acts as a little bit of a stopper. You could use other things there as well. It doesn't have to be a full-size pin that sticks up as far as that does, but it works out fine, so I don't really mind it. And when you connect the two of these together, the tips of the claws will touch, and they won't be able to spread because of those pins. You don't technically have to have the pins there, but there'll be a little bit of a spread between them. So I just like it when they're touching it. It looks a little more finished. That said, and like I said, he looks really good with the wide shoulders and really narrow waist, which I didn't think I'd like, but because it's kind of got this ribcage aesthetic here, it almost makes him feel a little bit skeletal as a character. And of course, on the back, he actually has the life counter on his butt. So I guess his butt has life. But outside of that, I'm really happy with the design of this. If you also didn't know, by the way, these do come in black on one set specifically. The Stringer set from Hero Factory comes with one of them, which is very annoying because it's one, right? So should have come with two, but it's whatever. You can get them though, but again, just remember, these are fragile. Of course, you can use Hero Factory ones instead. And the feet here, I chose black instead of the Keat orange as well to just bring more of that color in here. But yeah, again, can very easily replace those with dark gray, and I think it would still look just as good with the dark gray as well. Really, really like it. And let me go ahead and show you how to connect this helmet or headpiece, whatever you want to call it, to the actual Hero Factory 2.0 head. If you're not familiar with this head, it actually comes in a lot of colors, thankfully. None of them are transparent, unfortunately, but still they're very striking either way. And you just need to use one of these barb pieces, and you want it to angle forward. You want it to bend forward. What you're going to do is you're actually going to take this and basically drop it down. You want the little divider in between these bars to actually touch that horn. I don't know what that piece is called. I just call it a barb. With that said, though, once it actually touches, and let me get it right, then you don't want to come straight down with it, but rather you want to come down with it at an angle. And if it's all the way back, yeah, it'll just clip into place just like that. So the only thing to remember with this, though, is that since it goes down at an angle, as you could see there, you tilt it to the side here to get it on there. If you were to do that with the figure, it can come off pretty easily. And the same is also true if you go to turn the head. You kind of want to turn it from like the front here or squeeze it as you turn, and that will help. These 2.0 heads have a pretty strong socket. I've never seen one of them break, and they have really good friction on them as well. So you shouldn't run into any issues, but it can also mean that the head takes a little bit more effort to turn, and so you could very easily pull this head off. You can also tilt the head up if you want to. It's not really going to give you anything fancy because it's not high enough really to like see the eyes. So it's not really an aesthetic per se. But at the very least, it holds itself in place with good friction. So it's not going to like tilt up on its own either, which is nice. So very good to know. Like I said, though, just push it all the way back and then clip it down and it just fits. It just goes right on there. No problem. So yeah, that is Izrakoth, and the rest of the build is pretty straightforward, I think. The only other thing notable, of course, is the connection of the Vaki hips to the Vaki head there, and just using a 3-length axle that doesn't plug into anything, but just to give you that extra little connection there at the front. And that way, you can attach your armor. I tried with silver armor too, but I just didn't like it as much, so I decided to stick with the Metro Brown. It looks very good there. The rest of it has silver, though, with the exception of these horn pieces on the back and, of course, on the head being gold. Those are from the actual Aren's Rising Dragon set. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you know where to get all of these pieces if you want to build it for yourself, or of course you could get one of the other colors and kind of work with one of those. I think red would be a fun one to do. Obviously you'd have to change some stuff because this piece doesn't come in red, but the Anika body does, so you could just change it out to that and I think it would be fine. But other than that, that's pretty much it. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you are subscribed. It does really help out the channel. And of course, as always, if you want to see more stuff like this, well, check out the other videos, I guess, and of course join the conversation in the comments. That also helps with the algorithm, so why not, right? Let me know your thoughts on these if you have any experience with any of these Rising Dragon Strike sets. Hopefully I got that name right. And of course you can always check out the links for Discord, Instagram, or Patreon, who wants support channel, get some perks in the description below, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.